Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you guys been doing? Yeah, Merry Christmas. It's 25th today, and we are back in business. Just recently, I've replaced my computer case and replaced my monitor here. If you guys aren't aware, which you probably aren't, because I didn't really display any sort of interest on Twitter to talk about this. Basically, my monitor died on me, and to make stuff worse, my case died on me. My motherboard, basically. And I was thinking, well, I can replace a motherboard, but then I will have to probably get a new one of a new generation, because this motherboard is like Gigabyte 780 chipset. It's very old, very good on its time, but that's like 2009. And I was like, yeah, if I replace and get a new motherboard, then I'm gonna need to replace processor, I'm gonna need to replace DDR, RAM, GPU, processor, well, I said processor again. Basically, a lot of things will have to be replaced, the whole case, basically. And I was thinking, well, I can either do that, or I can go back and get new products of an old product, if you know what I mean, just, newer, not newer, but still fresh, but being in the past wouldn't really give me much. So I was thinking, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fucking buy myself a new case. And I got incredible offer by the person that I know. He got me a whole case for only 400 euros. Now, the reason I'm saying this is an incredible offer is mostly because of the GPU, the graphic card that is inside. Plus, the processor is well above the one that I've used before. Let me explain the upgrades that I have right now. Basically, I'm going to start with my monitor. The old monitor was a 17-inch monitor, LCD, 60 Hz. The biggest resolution was basically 16 by it wasn't even 1080p, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And I got myself this baby boy right here. This is Asus in search of incredible, and I couldn't be more happier to get this, because it was the last in their market for the time moment, and I got it in the perfect time before Christmas. It of course supports 144 Hz, 1080p, and that is incredible. The reason I'm saying this is because what higher hertz you have rating, heart rate you have, the more you will get the more information you will get displayed on your monitor, meaning that your eyes will be able to spot more things happening on a certain object you're watching. Let's say you're moving. This can be very noticeable while you're playing games, first-person games, for example, and even using your mouse on a desktop. Now, lots of people say, some people say that human eye cannot spot beyond 60, and some say beyond 30, and some say beyond 24, and some say even 1, which I call bullshit. But you will definitely see night and day from the performance of the mouse being displayed, being used on this. So it's also 1 millisecond response time, but what I want to explain about 144 is that basically, imagine this. Even the newest monitors, some of them still have 60, and that's all fine and dandy. Most of them have better color panels, better colors, and this one doesn't really stand out when it comes down to color display. Color depthness, do we say, but where it stands out is the performance, because it's meant for gaming. 60 would go like this. Imagine it like going like this. Imagine going like this. But then 144 would still go at the same speed, but it would go like this. More things would be displayed on your monitor. So couldn't be happier with that purchase, because I got this right here. This is a graphic tablet, and a graphic tablet is a little device that is used for graphic designers. If you're an artist and you want to create something for people, then this is the best way to go. You get a little plastic pen, which I have right here, and you can basically draw whatever you want on this, and having it combined with a 144 Hz monitor can also add up to the smoothness, and it does add up to the smoothness. Actually, it is incredibly smooth when you add up to the those two together. So basically, that monitor, while being told it's for gaming, and seeing the mouse performance, the smoothness of it, I realized it's not really just for gaming. It's for way more. It's for designing things, because your precision is going to be higher, and that is very important. So that is what I got. Now for the case, I cannot give you a picture right now. I want to make a one take right here, just straight down. The case is what is it? Well, basically it's a normal case. My it's not anything impressive, but what is impressive is mostly the components inside. For 400 euros case, I got processor that's still stronger than my old one. I went from Phenom 2 940 Black Edition that can be overclocked to I went from that to Intel i5 3350p, pretty sure. Yeah, so that is the processor that I have inside. And that is kind of a bit on the low side, the low end, because it's an older processor. Now, luckily enough, it doesn't really bottleneck my graphic card, and I'm really glad about that. But I'm pretty sure the more CPU demanding games will be, those games will violate my CPU quite drastically. But the games that I played, the newest games right now, Monster Hunter and all those, demanding games, are playable as hell. So I'm really liking the results, the benchmarks of that. But the biggest upgrade that this motherboard has, that is a different motherboard from my old one, is the graphic card that I have inside. So basically I went from 560 GTX to 5 generations later with 1060 GTX made by Asus, with two dual fans, and I believe it's overclock edition. It's the white, the white graphic card you may have seen. Very slick, just the design, that box, man. I would love that, to have that box with their animal, their panther. Is it a tiger or white tiger? I believe. I'm not too sure. White panther. It just looks cool as hell. Or maybe it's it's one of those what is that on a I forget. It's not important. Basically, it went from 560 to 1060, and the performance is day and night. I've been thinking, how in the world is my computer, really pairing equal to the same computers with same graphics cards when I'm seeing their benchmarks, but better processors than I have. Just i7s in there, i5, but it's stronger series. And I was thinking, how is this possible? And basically I realized that my motherboard inside is actually very compatible with the likes of Intel, Nvidia, because it has Intel's Turbo Boost chipset that supports Turbo Boost 2.0 technology. And what that allows is that once you are in a, let's say, in a very strong situation on the computer, when you're rendering stuff or when you're playing games, demanding games, then your CPU needs to have that extra juice, so it goes and basically that is what Turbo Boost enabled in the BIOS, that motherboards do support. Some of them have this, and that will allow your CPU to overclock itself on that moment you need that extra shrink. And I've heard some stories, I'm not too sure how this is true or not, depends on the process, I would imagine, but I've heard some stories that basically some of these people that have 3.5 gigahertz per core on them, when it was going to Turbo Boost, it went up to 4.8 gigahertz, which is crazy. But what Turbo Boost really allows you is to not mess around with overclock, because overclock is permanent, until you downclock it, it's still there, it's strictly there. And this way with Turbo Boost it can balance things out. When you need it, it will use it. When you don't need it, it will go back to your stock clock, sometimes even downclock when you don't really need it. So it will preserve the CPU's lifespan with that, and you will not have to risk with voltages and all this stuff, because when you have a case, especially if you got yourself a better case, you don't want to fuck around with it. And I think that with the graphic cards that I have in here, with the graphic card of 1060p, which is on the 1060 GTX, I would never want to overclock this. I'm not a rich person. The thing that I got here is a one in a lifetime, and it's gonna take. And I hope this case is gonna take me a couple of years before I replace it, because I'm not a person to be just replacing stuff in a couple of months just because something new came out. I went for 560 to 1060. That alone speaks volumes. I've been using this case I've been milking it like crazy. Just to get as much out of it as possible. But I couldn't be happier, and I got it for 400 euros, guys. 400 euros. I thought it's a freaking steal, because the person said it's been used. I even had an actual registered Windows on here, and I don't have to have the whole activate Windows blah 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 down there. It's a registered Windows 10. Everything works great. It's super silent. It is so quiet. My sister yesterday was playing a very demanding game, and I'm pretty sure the CPU and the graphic card should be going, ventilation or the fan should be going at full speed, and it was still fucking quiet. She thought it's dead. She thought my computer is legitimately dead. I believe her, because I don't hear him. Like, what the hell? I hear him a little bit, I'm not deaf, but still, I'm really glad with this purchase, because the whole graphic card of 1060p, I've seen the range of this graphic card. It's 3 gigabytes DDR5 memory, but at the same time, it's very impressive. And I saw 6 gigabytes same graphic card. And the differences aren't really that big of a deal, especially if we got 1080p resolution monitor. I don't got higher, 27 inches resolutions that go up there, and 4K, for example, which I doubt this thing can run 4K, but I would never really want to go 4K, because the ability that most 4Ks don't even have 144 hertz, basic rate. So that's my little case there. The card alone, from what I saw, the cheapest goes for 240, but then it goes up to 330. So getting the whole case with the processor and the power supply and the RAM that I have in there, plus 2 slots, I still got free to pick in. So I got 8 DDR3 RAM. DDR3 aren't the most impressive, but they're much better than DDR2 that I had on my old case, and they're 8 gigabytes as well. So basically getting all those stuff, as well as processor, motherboard, graphic card, and a solid state drive and a hard drive. I got solid state drive. I got 2 now, 265 solid state drive. That is one. That's basically my old one, and 128, or is it 126? I'm somewhere in the 120 gigabytes range. Plus I have a hard drive that is about half terabyte, 500 gigabytes, and I got an old hard drive that I still need to install in, which is a 1 terabyte hard drive. So basically 4 of them to be able to store data. So that's going to be very, very important, especially if I decide to stream. And if you're a YouTuber, you're going to have a lot of videos going on, and those things can stock up. So not being able to, needing to mess around with destroying data is very good, because my last one was it was only 256 gigabytes, and that was it. And I had solid state drive as well, but that sucks up quite fast. But anyways, so that's for my storage capabilities. What else can I say about this? Well, that's basically it. The DVD, and it's got a lot of USB 3.0 basically outputs. So it's really not, those things are just, filters, not filters, but fillers, we say, that most cases have to a certain extent. But that's really all I wanted to say. I'm making a top 10 video, of course, in the background. You guys may not see it, but I'm making it. And it's going to take a while. I've been rendering, I've been doing all sorts of things, so it's going to take a couple of hours to make this. It's a top 10 of sexiest Pokemon trainers in the Pokemon world. I was requested, and I was like, why not make it? It's been a while since I make a top 10. And what else do I got that I was doing? Well, I'm still gonna need to make. I've already made a thumbnail. I already schedulize things, commentary things, but I have to edit now. Basically the review of a microphone that I got from GearBest called Yanmai Q9, and you will see. I'm looking forward to uploading that video, so I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. Depending on the performance of that review will also depend if I'm going to be able to get more products for them to review, which I really hope. But at the same time, I don't got expectations from others. I got expectations from myself to bring what I want to bring. Whether or not it gets the views or not is still, all based on sometimes even sheer luck. But I'm not going on that. I'm already glad that I got a product to review, so I feel kind of privileged on that. Honored, I think that is how one would say. Still, that's really all I wanted to say. A lot of things happened in the background. Let's Plays, oh man, the stuff that I had on the last computer and hard drive, I need to restore it, and I have to watch out to not fuck up the save files. It's gonna take a while, but the Let's Plays are coming back. It's just that the last time I was doing stuff, it take forever to render, to encode. Like seriously, sometimes it took a day just to get one episode up there, and it shouldn't be like that, because we got a lot of things, other things to work on, and I was doing logos and I was doing all sorts of things. I also got a girlfriend long distance, and messing around with friends outside. Stuff can get all out of hand, so you cannot just focus on this and be here, especially if you struggle and it crashes and all this stuff. I didn't want to bother. Sometimes I was like, no, I'm done for today. Tomorrow I'm gonna do it again. But then tomorrow was like, fuck this, I'm out. So I gave him that good crack, and now my computer is silent. It's on drugs, on some good old drugs, and it's performing like an absolute beast. So also to make it a little bit more interesting, because I want to I want to display the performance of this case for all the people out there that may be eager and curious to know how well their case would perform, the graphic card would perform if they bought it. And I'm so happy with this graphic card that I plan to, well, the whole case basically, then I plan to make an actual benchmark testing of some games, and individually basically upload it here on YouTube. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it as well. I'm trying to go more technical on this. I was always more of a benchmark kind of guy. Like when I was having those graphic cards in a moment, the first thing that I would do is not really play games as much as test games and how well it performs, what are the temperatures, the actual specs of the cards and so forth. That is what I really liked doing, especially back in the days when I wasn't even YouTubing. I was watching technology videos, and people like Linus nowadays that really exploded out of nowhere, and even Tiger Direct, when it used to be very known back in the days. Logan, if you guys remember, that was doing graphic card testing. Now he's got a new channel, which seems that he's being overlooked, but that's kind of a bit, especially with YouTube changes and stuff. Yeah, the bell. Click the bell. If you want to be updated with my recent stuff, click the bell, because I never mentioned this. Subscribing is not enough. You have to click that damn bell. Click it. But anyways, guys, so that's gonna be it for me today. Stay tuned, and see you guys next time. But have a great rest of your holidays. Take care of yourself. Peace.